Wow, quite a couple. Welcome to Leverage. For more episodes with trailblazers and thriving entrepreneurs, check out leverage.ng. On today's episode, we'll be chatting with Nigerian trailblazing comedian and entertainer and United Nations ambassador for peace, Owen Gee. He's going to be sharing with us today about branding, how we can make ourselves attract the big brands in the country. He has worked with the likes of MTN, Etisalat, DSTV, MultiChoice, just name it. He even has a show showing in all African countries on DSTV. Let's go chat with him. Thanks for agreeing to do this.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming to do this.
Wow. Let's start from the beginning. Where did you grow up?
Actually, I was born and bred in Benin City. But immediately after I was born, less than when I was one year, I was moved over to Lagos. I actually grew up in the E02 area of Lagos, not too far away from there. That's where I grew up.
Wow. So I guess at that point in time, we thought Owen Gee was going to grow up to be a very huge artist. And then something happened to you that changed the fate of your career. Yeah, and what so many people would have wallowed in, what seemed like failure, you repositioned it to become the success part you are now. How did you make that pivot from the music to comedy?
It was a funny story actually. As a rap artist, I actually thought I was going to be one of the most successful musicians in Nigeria.
Yeah.
My journey being in rap, but I'm happy or glad to say that I was a member of one of the most unsuccessful rap groups in Nigeria. We were so unsuccessful that after show performances, we used to pay people back their money with interest. It was that bad. It wasn't terrible at what we were doing, but the approach, we were aggressive. Hip hop was just starting then, and so we were some of the pioneers of all of the hip hop moves, and it didn't go that well with a lot of people. So it was during one of such performances when we were not being appreciated. I asked the DJ to stop, and then I just started talking and throwing yabs at people. And referencing all that we had done, all the achievements we had hoped to do, where we were supposed to be, or what we were not getting, and just threatening people generally. And they found it very hilarious. And so everybody there thought I'd become a better comedian than a musician. And I was asked to come and anchor an event the next day, which I did. And from then on, that was just it.
Wow. Now, what role does passion play in this? Because I think I once heard you say somewhere that you had to leave your job in the oil and gas industry for comedy, and as a matter of fact, you even went as long as a whole year without really getting any pay aside the bag of rice. So
Exactly.
That has to be a definition of passion there for you.
A lot of passion, a lot of vision also. I saw where I was going to. I wanted to live a fulfilled life. I didn't want to live a life where I become the general manager or the MD of one oil company. I go to events. Every time a comedian comes to perform, I'll say, since we start this work. I was one of the people who was doing this a long time ago. My brother, that story. Why didn't you take it to the next level? I saw a vision for the industry. I saw that in a few years from when I started, that the industry will become a mainstay. I also quickly recognized that I could truly walk myself into the history books. Or better still, write my own book very quickly if I started doing this as at when I started. And I took a risk that paid off. You see, what a lot of young people don't know is that everything in life is a risk. The fact that you're waking up every morning is a risk. So a lot of them are afraid to take a risk, to venture into those things that they've always wanted to do. I'm one of the young people who took the bull by the horn to say, look, irrespective of whatever anybody says, I got a lot of talks. My mother said my father's people were worrying me. My father said my mother's people were worrying me. Some people said I was lazy. They said all sorts of things, but I didn't listen to them. You know, I knew where I was going and I knew what I wanted to achieve. I stuck by my guns. When you have a particular goal to want to achieve something, when you have a particular niche for it, when there's that knack that is pushing you to want to achieve it, you should always sit down first, weigh your options. You know, you should spend your time in placing your options down. I write a lot, so I take a book, I put it down. Where am I going to? What do I want to do when I get there? How do I want to get to that place? I put these things down and then I follow them in that sequence. You know, so that's part of the hunger. It's your drive, it's your passion. And for anything that you want to make a living from, you have to be ready to work your butt off for it to get it. You know, nothing comes easy. A lot of young people spend most of their time sleeping and talking. You know, a lot of things have taken over the essence of hard work. People want to BB all day. They want to Facebook all day. They want to tweet all day. And they want to wear good clothes, drive good cars. And yes, because they see other people achieving this. But they don't want to put in the sacrifices that it takes. You have to be willing to work extra to get extra. Versatility is what keeps you in the game. You know, when it seems like, okay, what else can he just do? You chose something else. You know, you have to continue to keep your fans happy. When you continue to keep them happy, they continue to keep you relevant. And that's what works in the entertainment industry. You have to be able to push out so many good things, you know, and not just sit on one spot.
Now, let's talk about branding. You seem to be someone very critical about branding. In fact, as a matter of fact, you seem to be one of the pioneers of keeping your comedies in English, plain English, instead of the popular pidgin blend. You take branding very seriously. How much of that do you think has played in the role in seeing you the light we see you now as more like a corporate comedian?
You know, when you talk about branding, branding is perception. It's the way you want people to see you. That is very important to me. You know, and people say the way you dress is the way you are dressed. You know, the way you brand yourself, the perception you give people is how much they will take you seriously. You know, so that's why I attach a lot of branding to what I do. You know, and that's what has attracted me to a lot of corporate brands. I'm one of the very few people who has shown that you can do your comedy in good English and you can still be funny. And that's important to me.
Wow. Okay, now let's get a bit practical now. Now for coming up comedians that I want to become a brand. How do they go about it? How exactly I want to start branding myself? What should I do? How do we go about being a brand in practical terms now?
First, you have to check yourself. What do I have? What do I want to sell that other people are not selling? It's not the jokes, it's personality. You put that your personality in place. When you put your personality in place, you think of an objective. Where am I going to? Do I want to go and sell this personality to the people who can only pay this little amount or this much amount? Now they say to whom much is given, much is expected. So if you give them big, they give you big. If you give them small, they give you small. You know, so you have to be careful enough as to be able to know where you want to place yourself or what you want to give to them. That's very, very important to me. Now, also when you brand yourself, you differentiate yourself from the rest. You are saying, I pass these people. You cannot compare Coca-Cola to any other soft drink. Go up or come down, that number one. It's not possible. You understand what I'm saying? You know, there are some things that are top in line. There are some things that are big. You know, when you talk about lager, when you take the labels off the bottles and you taste them, you can't see the difference. But the moment the labels are there, you say, "Ah no, give me this, don't give me this." When you take out the label, you won't be able to differentiate them. So wearing that label is important for people to be able to differentiate me from the others.
Yeah.
I'll be able to say, this is why I want this guy. And that is important, because I want to be able to bear the brunt of every responsibility that comes on me. I don't want to be compared to somebody. I don't want to be placed in that person's stead. I believe that I am my own man.
True.
And so if you mention Judas from Bible, he has branded himself. He has branded himself from deceit.
We wouldn't want that kind of brand, do we?
You get another one of them for Andrew, where they like food, where another one like sleep.
Yeah.
So they all Jesus Christ branding a miracle. That time, he not big, he never even, no matter how you holler, the man with your form. You understand? That boat was shaking, they were holler this was just, you understand? Your form big boy. They don't do. Jesus, calm down. Calm down. See, just settle. That brand, that big boy from there. Shows he passed there.
True.
And he placed himself in a position where you know that he is the one that settles all problems. That is why we go crying to him. He had branded himself from the times of the Bible. We are still seeking him till now. So when you know my brand of comedy, you know what to expect when I come.
Oh, okay. Now, you're an United Nations Peace Ambassador.
Yeah.
Automatically, that makes you the sign that you're a person of influence among the young ones, especially among youthful Nigeria. Is that a burden to you, or does it give you pride to know that you could be recognized as high as the United Nations?
There's not a burden. It's a thing of honor and a thing of joy. And it's not just the recognition that is the problem. It's the fact that you have been brandished as a role model. It keeps you in check. When you know that out of how many millions of people you were chosen to be the face of young people, you were chosen to be the voice of young people, you have to get yourself correct. It's an honor, it's a privilege, one which I will never ever misuse, one which I will never ever spoil. Like I said, a lot of us don't want to sacrifice. Problem is, I want to put in this today and get later.
Yeah.
That is the average mindset of the Nigerian man. But we have had a lot of people who have been able to break barriers. There's these twins who were cleaners, and later got into school. I've forgotten their name. These guys who cook, and later got into school. And while they were in school, their father died, and they decided to set up a mobile food vendor system. And now they cater for some of the biggest companies, biggest organizations, and biggest parties, and they're not even up to 30 yet.
Wow.
They've made a killer business from it.
Wow.
And they've had banks like GT Bank and all the rest invest in their scheme. Before those people were able to invest in their scheme, Nigerians, yeah. Before they were able to invest in their scheme, they had to see
what they can do.
They had to say that they succeeded at doing it. You understand? Whatever you believe in, strive to invest in that thing. Let people see that you can make it from that thing before they begin to put their hard-earned resources into it. So that's how it starts. Do not say you have ideas. I have this idea come out, my brother. What if it come out? As you get ideas, so many other people do they think. Idea full everywhere, like execution. Doesn't matter. A lot of people want to think, but they don't want to do. And when you think without doing, you still stay a thinker. Wise thinkers are just quoted. It is those that do that are celebrated. You can sit down and think of being a sprinter and never run. Or you can take your running shoes and clothes and go on the track and go and break that record. So that's it. It's important that you are a doer and not just a thinker.
Oh, thanks a whole lot for agreeing to do this.
Thank you so much.
It's been a very wonderful time chatting with you.
It's wonderful to have you come over to my place. I hope that...
thanks for having me as a guest.
Thank you so much. I hope I'll be able to touch a few lives with one or two of the discussions that we made. It's not that...
Definitely.
I'm not the most intelligent man in the world. I'm not the least intelligent man, but the little experience that I had, I feel like I could always share. Life is a continuous learning process, and so we're all learning.
Well, you've heard him, Mr. Owen Gee, sharing with us how we should move from being thinkers to becoming doers. It is not about thinking, it's about doing. Those that are thinkers are just quoted, and those that are doers are celebrated. Get up and make it happen.